Studies in animals and more recently in humans and athletes show that those with higher omega-3 indexes or higher omega-3 levels in their brain before a concussion actually experience faster recovery times and reduced symptom severity after a concussion, potentially improving their cognitive function and reducing issues like memory problems or difficulty concentrating. Hello, I'm Dr. Mark. Over the past 5 years, I've had the privilege of working closely with almost 400 people a year, from NCAA swimmers, professional hockey players, high school footballers, entrepreneurs, grandparents, and everyone in between. And we're helping them recover from concussions, optimizing their performance, and just getting back to doing what they love. On this channel, we talk about concussion recovery, athletic performance, and nutritional strategies that can help you recover faster, perform better, and live your best life. Today, we're going to dive into the omega-3 index, this really simple functional metric that can be the difference between just getting by and actually excelling in your performance, whether that's sport, work, or life. By the end of this video, you're going to understand your omega-3 index and how it influences key aspects of your athletic performance and recovery, and how improving it can actually support your overall brain health. So diving right in, what is the omega-3 index? The omega-3 index is a blood test that measures the levels of EPA and DHA around your red blood cells. So EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, and DHA, docosahexaenoic acid. And why this matters is that these omega-3 fats are essential. So I keep doing this because it's going to be around your cell membrane, to not to give you PTSD from high school biology, but that lipid bilayer. A certain percentage of that should be omega-3s, and it's essential for brain health, heart health, and muscle recovery. A higher omega-3 index has been associated with better overall health outcomes, including improved performance and faster recovery. So when we look at EPA, if we're going to break this down, EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, generally speaking, if we oversimplify it, it's going to reduce inflammation, support heart health, and aid in muscle recovery. DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, that's going to support cognitive function, decision-making, brain health. It's sort of going to be in the cognitive realm. It's this really important structural fat in your brain. An optimal range for your omega-3 index is going to be 8 to 11%. And that's going to be linked to, again, better performance, faster recovery, and all kinds of health benefits. So when we look at that red blood cell, my little red blood cell, of all the fats that make up that membrane, 8 to 11% should be omega-3s. Here's a reality check though. If we look at our NCAA athletes, our NFL prospects, like our elite specimens of humans, their omega-3 index on average is about 4.4%. So what does this mean? If we look at ranges, we've got below 4%, 4 to 8%, and then 8 to 11%. And below 4%, studies suggest that a low omega-3 index, below 4%, it's going to be associated with increased risk factors for cardiovascular disease, poorer cognitive outcomes, and impaired recovery. So that's not good. We want it more than 4%. But what if we're in 4 to 8%? We're sort of in this moderate zone. This range offers definitive benefits for cardiovascular health and inflammation management, but it's not ideal for like peak performance and peak health. So if we want to look at the optimal range, the ideal range, this is going to be 8 to 11%. And this is the desired range for optimal health. We've got better cardiovascular outcomes, better cognitive function, and reduced inflammation. And that's going to translate to better performance. Studies in animals and more recently in humans and athletes show that those with higher omega-3 indexes or higher omega-3 levels in their brain before a concussion actually experience faster recovery times and reduced symptom severity after a concussion, potentially improving their cognitive function and reducing issues like memory problems or difficulty concentrating. So that's pretty cool. The benefits in concussion may come particularly from DHA, docosahexaenoic acid. So this is a key structural fat in the brain. So of all the fat in your brain, 10 to 20% should be omega-3s, and of that 10 to 20%, DHA is about 100-fold more present than EPA in the brain. And so we think that having optimal omega-3s, particularly DHA before concussion, may be beneficial. More research is needed to confirm that. So let's talk about why getting 8 to 11% is crucial beyond concussion, but for athletic performance, injuries in general, and then your cognitive and brain performance. So from an athletic performance sort of standpoint, we can look at endurance and we can look at strength and power. So from an endurance standpoint, omega-3s boost cardiovascular endurance, improving stamina for prolonged physical activities. So think tournaments, games, endurance sports. A 2 to 3% increase in endurance could be the difference between first and 97th place in a marathon. I don't know how many folks are running marathons, but I know there's a lot of you mutants out there that like ultra endurance sports, and good for you, but that's not me. From a strength and power standpoint, this is going to be more indirect and related to your recovery. So omega-3s help improve muscle recovery, reduce soreness, so that delayed onset muscle soreness. So indirectly, decrease soreness, improve recovery, might improve power output during key moments of your game, your workout, your general training regimen. From an injury prevention standpoint, this is also going to be sort of theoretical, hypothetical, indirect, where omega-3s help manage inflammation. They don't just block it, they help manage it. And that's going to be a major contributor to sprains, strains, tendonitis, sort of overuse injuries. So athletes with higher omega-3 index levels tend to show fewer overuse injuries in their high contact sports, football, or even just like the repetitive contacts of running on the court, basketball, track, things like that. To bring it back to cognitive performance, just to repeat, DHA supports mental clarity, focus, decision-making, all critical things for athletes making quick choices in sort of high-risk contact sports, hockey, lacrosse, rugby. You've got to make a decision or you're going to get hit. And then again, concussion protection. Omega-3s help reduce neuroinflammation, potentially lessening concussion symptoms and speeding up recovery times. And this is all sort of emerging evidence in humans suggesting that there may be protective benefits, particularly of DHA, so supporting that structural inflammatory function in the brain. So how do we get our omega-3 index right? Like, how do we get to that 8 to 11%? First of all, test. Know where you stand. Are you close to 8? Are you far from 8? Are you actually maybe 9%? Great. So to know where you stand, get the omega-3 index tested. It could be as simple as a finger prick. You could add it to your serum test when you're getting your annual labs drawn. But basically, it's a simple blood test that shows us your EPA, DHA levels. And it also shows us your omega-6 levels, your arachidonic acid and other pro-inflammatory fats. So it might be that your omega-3 index is actually low because you eat too many fried foods and processed things. And it's always fun to sort of expose the athletes that tell me they're eating well on the road, and I can see that they're not. So once we know our levels, if we need to raise our levels, we can look at diet and supplementation, and we always want to start with food, whole foods and diet. That is the foundation of everything else. A supplement is just there to supplement. So from a dietary standpoint, think your fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines. If you can get a couple servings of those a week, be mindful of like farmed salmon is actually really high in arachidonic acid, really high in omega-6s. Kind of sad there. So the closer we can get to like the fresh fish and being mindful of heavy metal content. So smaller fish are usually better because the bigger fish eat the smaller fish and can accumulate more metals. Kind of bleak, but that's where we're at. When we're looking at plant-based sources, these are going to be things like flax seeds, walnuts. The fat that you're getting, the omega-3 fat that you're getting from plants is ALA, and ALA gets converted to EPA and DHA. That conversion process is really, really low, particularly in men. It's still low in women, but it's a little bit higher in women. But if you're going to be plant-based for whatever reason, for ethical, for nutritional, for whatever reasons that you are plant-based, know that you need to eat a lot more ALA to get the same levels of EPA, DHA that we want to get that omega-3 index to 8 to 11%. Let's say you need a supplement. You always want to supplement based on your omega-3 index level. You don't want to overshoot this. And you always want to choose a high quality triglyceride supplement rather than an ethyl ester supplement. So ethyl esters are a little bit cheaper to make, but they oxidize more readily and kind of go bad faster. Triglycerides, they stay stable a little bit longer and they're much more bioavailable, much more absorbable by your body. So typically when we're supplementing, you want to look at the bottle, you want to see how much EPA is in it and how much DHA is in it. And you want to get a combined dose of around 2 grams per day. Now, I just gave a very specific dose, and I want you to know that you should not win a Darwin Award from a YouTube video. Please do not change your medications, your supplements, anything about your health regimen because of a YouTube video. Always talk with your medical provider first. So to wrap this up, the omega-3 index is a key metric for performance, recovery, and brain health. And keep in mind that the scholarship NCAA D1 athlete probably has an omega-3 index that is less than ideal at around 4.4%. The ideal range that we want to get to is 8 to 11%. And we can achieve that through dietary changes, through supplementation, but we want to test first to know. And that can improve our endurance, our strength, our cognitive function, our recovery from injury, and possibly even prevent more severe issues from a concussion. So have you ever had your omega-3 index levels checked? If you're a parent, an athlete, a coach, now is the time to check. It's best to just know if you could be improving your performance through a very simple means. If you do know that your omega-3 index is not 8 to 11%, let me know in the comments what you plan to do about it. Are you going to eat more fish? Do you have a supplement that you like? Let me know. And then again, do all the YouTube things. Go ahead and like, subscribe, engage with this channel because it helps me out and it's free for you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Until next time, I'm Dr. Mark.